Okay, today's topic 1.5, we're going to start with just the beginning basics here of adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing functions. There's no new key vocabulary for you today. Actually, this is something that you've already seen in Algebra 1, Algebra 2. Okay, what you've seen in your textbooks in Algebra 2. You've seen the addition of functions in this format. Okay. Your textbooks will write it in a different format. It means the same thing. All this means is we're taking from what you have seen, f of x plus g of x, adding the two functions. This over here in green tells us that we do the exact same thing. What we're going to do is add the function f and the function g. The one that I want to point out to you, because of what we're going to do in the next lesson, is that multiplication. Notice there is no symbol, there's no dot in the middle, there's no x. FG means we're going to multiply. That's how it'll appear in your textbook. And division is the slash fraction bar. Okay, so let's do a couple, and here we go. So our functions are given, f of x is x squared, and g of x is 1 minus x. So let's add the functions. This is telling me I'm going to add f and g. So I'm going to take f of x squared. I'm going to add g of x. Now let's write it in standard form. Standard form would be descending order of the exponents. Addition is probably the easiest one. With subtraction, what you have to remember is you have to subtract the entire function. So I'm subtracting 1 minus x, which means then I would have to distribute. So if I write that in standard form, it'd be x squared minus negative x, which makes it plus x, and then minus 1. We'll come back to the domains after we do all our calculations. Okay, so now I have to multiply the functions. F function is x squared, and then multiply it by the g function, 1 minus x. Basic distribution, x squared minus x cubed. But is that my standard form? No. Okay, so if I distribute that, that's x squared minus x cubed. Standard is written in descending order. So division, x squared divided by g. Now remember, I cannot simplify x squared and this x. This is an expression of 1 minus x. It has a different value than x. All right, so this would be our final answer for the division. Let's talk about the domains. Okay, composition of domains. The domain for f of x is also all real numbers, and for g of x is all real numbers. When I combine them, I get a polynomial. So my domain would also be all real numbers. Same thing with subtraction. Now, if there's a domain restriction in one of my original functions, then I have to keep that. All right, so now, again, when I multiply all real numbers and all real numbers, I'm going to again get a polynomial so that my domain will be all real numbers. Now, this is where it's a little trickier. Remember, we cannot divide by 0, so there has to be in division a domain restriction. So here, my domain is going to be all real numbers, except x cannot equal 1 because I cannot divide by 0.